I'm Kelly Heger. I am the parent of the fourth child diagnosed in the world with AADC deficiency. AADC deficiency is aromatic L-amino acid decarboxylase deficiency, and it's a disabling brain disease. It affects the biosynthesis and transport of two critical neurotransmitters in the brain, dopamine and serotonin. And since dopamine is a precursor to catecholamines, epinephrine and norepinephrine, those chemicals are also affected. So it also affects the sympathetic, parasympathetic, and autonomic nervous systems. I often try to help those that don't know about the disease understand the pathway a little bit by giving an example using Parkinson's disease. Parkinson's patients have a problem with a chemical in their brain called L-dopa. And as L-dopa depletes, they can't process the chemical and doesn't turn into dopamine. And so therefore, it causes a lack of movement in Parkinson's patients and other bodily functions. And so the enzyme that decarboxylates L-dopa to dopamine is where the defect occurs with AADC. And this enzyme deficiency interferes with the communication of cells in the nervous system, and it is crucial for overall development and function. Without it, it causes severe forced abnormal posturing of all muscles within the body, including the limbs, the torso, the neck, your face, your mouth, and your eyes, along with multi-system abnormalities. And signs and symptoms can develop in early infancy and intensify over the child's life. And so from a parent's perspective, having a child with AADC is absolutely devastating. It is heartbreaking to watch your child suffer in pain, and it takes incredible patience and dedication to provide the care for a child with AADC needs. And so some people want to know, what are the signs and symptoms of AADC deficiency, and what would we look for, or what would a physician look for to possibly help diagnose a child with AADC deficiency? And so often in infancy, the child will develop with irritability. They might be having excessive sleeping for 20 plus hours a day, diaphoresis, which is excessive sweating, especially when they're trying to feed. They don't have a lot of muscle tone, so they're not reaching their milestones. They have developmental delay, temperature instability, so their temperature is fluctuating. Generally, it's lower versus higher. Ptosis of the eyes, and that's when your eyes are droopy. Poor feeding, as I mentioned, reflux and vomiting, tremors and dystonia, startle episodes. That's a real big one. So the children have these abnormal neural startle episodes where their arms will flail out to the sides and their eyes will open large. One of the biggest symptoms is oculogeric crises. This is what I talked about earlier, where your eyes are forced up into your head. Your neck is forced to one side or the other. Your limbs twist in abnormal ways, and it literally goes to all your limbs, your feet, your hands, your body, everything just contracts in abnormal ways. And the breathing becomes stridorous, and it's extremely difficult to watch a child suffer through these episodes, and they could last for hours and often can occur as frequently as every other day, and some up to 4 to 7 times every 4 to 7 days. And so some people want to know, like, what is it that's different that you might be able to tell me about this disease that we don't know? And so what I want to say is that it is extremely rare and often misdiagnosed by physicians. Some of the symptoms mimic other diseases, and unfortunately, there's not enough awareness regarding the disease. Therefore, I feel it's imperative to educate the community as well as specialists to recognize the signs and symptoms, especially that oculogeric crises. AADC Awareness Day is actually coming up. It's October 22nd, and anyone interested can watch live and learn more through Facebook. Physicians, if I could say to physicians, there is promise on the horizon for children diagnosed with this disease, and that's why it's imperative that we get them young, especially those with the severe form of the disease. Gene therapy trials has been in progress for over 8+ years, and now is available in the USA. And our hope is that treatment becomes available to all children suffering with AADC.